This is where I read my short story, Our Bodies, to you. We are at chapter 3 now, chapter 1, and we are following our protagonist Jasper. And chapter 1 was when he leaving his casual encounter with Alex at the airport. And chapter 2 is his flashback to when he was 17, his first time engaging with another man. And currently we're at chapter 3. Our Body is a story about queer love, about jealousy, about trust, about making sense with one's body. And it's written by me and edited by my friend Jackson Doudney. Chapter 3. The morning sun slipped through the rusted metal frame of the train. Jasper jolted awake. On the hard wooden floor, his hand grasped for something he could fight with. His chest rearing in the panic breaths. Over to his left, on a piece of cardboard next to him, Michael slept soundly. The sight calmed Jasper, bringing back a regular rhythm to his adrenalized limbs. Michael's face was slightly rounded, with fluffy eyelashes gently curtaining his kind eyes. He had the short brown hair and a little stubble on his face. His chest was lean, rising and falling slowly, and the contour of his muscles was irresistible. Jasper reached over, traced his index finger on Michael's pinky. He had started to feel something more than just passion for this man. This last carriage on the cargo train bound north has been their home for months. Michael gently turned his palm, let out a slight yawn, and held onto Jasper's fingers. "Come here," Michael whispered as he pulled Jasper towards him, and Jasper let himself fall into Michael's arms. Over the passing years, it had become a habit for Jasper to keep a knife, yes, that knife, closer to himself. He had not slept with Michael at first. Something about Michael had been captivating, and Jasper was sure that it couldn't just be his kindness. There is something further, something Jasper doesn't know. And on top of that, Jasper knew he would put himself in a very vulnerable position if he let his heart take the lead. The two men had crossed paths by the sea. How long it had been since Alex? Jasper couldn't tell. But, as it always had, the void had consumed him beyond his comprehension. The same question followed him, waiting to be answered. What was he searching for? Another man had died in his hands, so he succumbed to the downward spiral. Jasper think to himself that he was a liar, a manipulative ghost wandering through society unnoticed. He was a murderer, a killer, his hands stained with the red of other men's veins. For weeks after Alex's death, Jasper would wake up from a nightmare to the vision of Alex's ghost lying on top of him, begging for his love, begging for his life. And Jasper was ready to die. To pay off his debts, he wanted to put this lustful body of his to sleep, this body that thirsted for blood. He had tried to put a blade through his own heart, but he couldn't, so he let the nightmare continue to eat him away, bit by bit. There were days he looked at his reflection and thought about that 17-year-old boy with a backpack and what would have been if he walked away when given the chance. But he's not that boy anymore. Days passed, his ration ran low, and he held no intention of replacing them. He had reached the shore by sunset. He peeled off his layers, hoping the sea mist would disguise him from his own conscience. His body drifted on the surface of the water, The salt water embraced him with a slight chill on the skin. He felt as he was floating upwards, slowly consumed and drowning in the night sky. The stars were so reachable for him. He remembered hearing about long ago when people followed them for travel on ships. When the end of the world was thought to be an edge to fall deeper into the stars. As above, so the water below was darkness too. Maybe he could just let himself sink, like the hopeless ones who were consumed by love. He felt his body going numb, the cold seeping into his skin, and the tiredness washing over him. He remembered hearing someone shouting, but it was faint. He was simply too tired to respond to it. Next thing Jasper remembered was that he had woken from a cold shiver. His naked body was covered by a thin blanket. Someone had set up a bonfire on the beach, and he drifted into sleep again. At daybreak, Jasper had fallen ill, and the days of no sleep had taken a toll on his body. Michael, quiet and attentive as Jasper came to know him, had boiled some tea. He sat next to him quietly, watching the horizon. He had a hiking backpack and a tent that he could set up. He seemed like a survivalist, well prepared, Jasper thought. You look pale. Michael turned around to look at him. His voice was low, with an accent, one that Jasper wasn't familiar with. Here, drink some of this. He handed Jasper the enamel cup in his hand. Jasper slowly propped himself up, tucking himself inside the blanket. The tea was nice. It seemed to soothe his burning sinus a little bit. I'm Jasper. What's your name? Michael let out a chuckle. His eyes seemed amused, though his face was stoic. Is that what you do? Give your name to a stranger? Jasper's stomach tightened, not knowing how to respond. The playful joke felt threatening to him. He handed the cup back to Michael with his weak arm, maybe still waiting for Michael's response. Michael took the cup, poured more tea into it, had a sip, and handed it over to Jasper. Michael. He winked. Jasper recalled the first time he had fallen for Michael. To survive the cold of the ocean wind, they shared a tent. The fragility he had experienced, cradled by Michael's arms, was something he hadn't experienced before. Maybe because Michael had saved him from his own attempt to fade away, then from the sickness, and now he might be the person to save him from this void. When they kissed for the first time, Jasper started to anticipate his own destiny. He noticed how his body gave way like feathers in Michael's passion. He could die in this moment. Michael could tear a knife across his abdomen and let his entrails spill. Michael wasn't one to express his feelings for Jasper. All Jasper knew was that he lived the next day. The same way that Michael had held him at daybreak, Jasper couldn't trust it in the beginning, because that's how he would have pulled Alex in, and the one before him, and the one before Alex too. Jasper knew the way he would exaggerate his affection to convince himself that no one needed to die. Or maybe that was just another tactic to lure in his prey. Jasper did not want to be the victim of the same kind of trap that he set. But at Michael's arm, it all felt so good. The lightness made him want to stay in that moment forever. Playing these moments over on the cold train floor, he realized He hadn't felt the void for weeks. No desire to pull away. And all he wanted was to just stay. And that's chapter 3. And thank you for listening. And we'll be back here for chapter 4.